You know, a verdict or judgment, we are told, is neither a vote, nor a consensus, nor a customary decision. It is the interpretation of the Constitution and the law, and judges set it accordingly in the context of that, and they ensure its implementation. The Supreme Court on Thursday dismissed the appeals brought against President Bola Tinubu by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and Labour Party's Peter Gregory Obi. But both parties have expressed disappointment over the verdict of the Apex Court, which affirmed the election victory of President Tinubu. Now, the electoral tussle is over. It is time to build broken bridges, don't you think, Jide?
I think so too, but the Nigerian politician is of a rare breed. You will see that some people will not agree that closure has been put to this matter. They will be making so much noise, abusing the judiciary, saying all kinds of things. Whereas those judges have operated firmly within the ambit of the law. Everything they said, we expected. Even we that we are not lawyers, we are not judges. Because we read the law. We read what the law says. When you are talking about, individuals, a group of individuals from Abuja deluding themselves that they could sue somebody who won an election. The law is clear. Because you didn't take part in the election, you cannot sue. Only the people who contested against him and lost to him can sue. But we have lawyers who got up and went before the courts to say, okay, we are
concerned parties.
We are lawyers to so people. I mean, it's ridiculous. The things that lawyers get away with in Nigeria, elsewhere they would have been disbarred. So that's one. And what this does is that it fouls the atmosphere. Look at what Justice Okoro said. There are people, lawyers, you are involved in election litigation, you go from media house to media house, TV station to TV station, analyzing a case that is before a court. Something that is completely against your training.
Yeah.
You're analyzing it, trying to foul the atmosphere, trying to get your supporters worked up unnecessarily. And they go on social media, they go on Twitter, or is it X that they call it now? They go and work themselves up needlessly over things that are immaterial. At the end of the day, they eat up the polity. And what they do, moving from TV station to TV station, at the end of the day does not affect the outcome. The judges are not going to be bothered about public opinion, especially public opinion from a noisy minority. Because when we are talking about public opinion, we have to be sure of what we are saying. That some people are voluble, they can make all the noise in the world, does not mean that they are in the majority. There are people who are not interested in those noises. It's the least of their concerns. And those people actually outvote the noisemakers. We have to say the truth. It doesn't matter how we are passing. You hate me, we're saying the truth. That is your problem. It's too late in the day for me to change my ways. So now elections have been held. We've had the courts decide who won the presidential election. At that point, it should stop. A lot of our politicians are just similar to Donald Trump. Donald Trump lost the election. I supported Donald Trump. I've always liked him. But I knew that he lost the election. But Donald Trump and his people are still saying that he won the election.
Even when his lawyer has admitted...
Despite the huge gap between him and Joe Biden in terms of the popular vote, he's still saying that he won the election. That's the way a lot of our politicians are. And they are supported by lawyers, how to make money, who will continue to give them the impression that if we file this matter, we can still win.
Yeah.
What is the sense in a matter decided on May 28th, 2023? It was still part of Obi's prayers
yeah.
before the court. That is that Shettima was not validly nominated. So the Supreme Court said, no, you can't bring this before us. We've decided this matter. We can't be sitting over a matter that we have decided. Are you telling me that a lawyer shouldn't have known that a matter already decided by the apex court, you can't bring it before the same apex court? You brought it before the PAPC. Were you expecting the lower court to overrule the Supreme Court? What kind of thing are we going through in this country? And then you didn't stop there. After the PAPC said, no, this matter has been decided by the Supreme Court, you still took it before the Supreme Court amongst your prayers. Come on. I mean, these are the things happening. And when you don't have your way, you stand on the rooftop and be making so much noise.
The Nigerian politician is telling you and I that in politics, anything is possible.
But that is a lie.
Okay.
It is not, you cannot say that in politics everything is possible.
Anything.
No, even anything is not possible.
So
it's the same way that when people argue.
When Napoleon Bonaparte said, in politics, stupidity is not a handicap.
But even when you're talking about stupidity,
yeah,
it's not everybody that manifestly demonstrates stupidity. Some people still have some level of decorum. Well, they will not show their stupidity. Maybe within the four walls of their homes, they demonstrate stupidity. They demonstrate lack of common sense. But when they are in public, they restrain themselves. So this is the thing. It's just like when people, my teachers taught me in the university that to say God can do everything is wrong. And I'm like, oh, because we've always heard that God can do all things. I said, what is this man saying? And he said, no, because the teacher himself was a cleric. He said, come on, calm down, calm down. I will teach you what you do not know.
Don't get emotional.
Don't get crazy over nothing. He said, can God be rational? Can God create a stone he cannot lift? The idea of a stone that God cannot lift is irrational. Can God create a square cycle? The idea of a square cycle is irrational. I said, oh, this is why I came to university, so that I will learn new things. So when they say, oh, you can do all things, you're assuming that it can be like us. It can be irrational.
But it cannot be.
It cannot be.
Wale, shall we talk about the FCT?
Well, you know,
if you understand what
yes, I understand what you mean. Let me put it in a common language.
Okay.
Street person. You know, it's like you having a football, and let's say between Hope Wardell and KC Nodicha. And then CKC scores 5-0. Then Hope Wardell is now saying that one of those penalties, one of those 5 goals, one was not scored inside 18. So, because, well, if you score inside 18, penalty is a goal. But, one must have been scored inside 18 before it can be counted. So, on that basis, it should be disqualified. Then, on the other ground, you say the striker of CKC, who scored that goal, in 1952, the school he attended, he didn't get the original certificate. In 1970, he went to one college, and that college, he didn't write the correct name. So would that disqualify the 5 goals already scored by CKC? So instead of, then look at the issue of IREF, because these are the 3 pillars, IREF, Abuja, and then the personality of the presidential candidate.
Yeah.
On IREF, if after scoring 5 goals, they didn't show it on the screen in the stadium, so because of that, it didn't, the
goals don't count.
There are so many people who are there, they witnessed it. Those are the party against spectators in the stadium. They were there, they recorded the goal, they saw it. But because it didn't show on the screen through transmitter, then, it should be cancelled. And I think these are the pillars, that were demolished by the judges. One of the judges said something. He said the petition of Atiku was vexatious. based on personal attack
Emotions.
Yeah.
on the striker who scored that goal against Hope Waddell. It's not about issues. And you know, the article called a press conference, and he was attacking that, oh, in 1992, when they were in PDM, he did something to me. During the election in 2003, I worked for him. Those are personal issues.
Supported Yaradua.
They are personal issues that have no bearing. I've been following
On the case at hand.
Yes, I've been following the current president since 1992. I think we should learn from resilience. Somebody who was almost killed, he went abroad, sold his properties. He never knew he would become the president of Nigeria. And worked so hard, came back again. During the June 12th, he was almost killed. Abandoned everything, his family and all that. And eventually, even in the party, within the APC, they didn't want him to be. This is the first time I'm seeing an election that the ruling party did not, a section, in a very strong section, including people very powerful in the party, did not support the candidate. All sorts of policies came up just because of one candidate, but eventually the person won. So I think we should just allow things to go. Now, governance, no longer campaign, no longer politics. And I think we should learn from what is happening in the Middle East. Look at Israel and Palestine. There are so many factions in Palestine, but they are coming together because of national interest. The same thing in Israel. All the parties, they are forgetting about what Netanyahu wants to do about intervening in judiciary. Everybody is coming together.
And talk about emotions.
Yeah,
we are not talking about
of national interest.
We are not talking about the Israel of the Bible.
Yes.
But contemporary Israel.
Of course. So the two parties, they have put everything apart and then working together for. So I think we should commend them because their efforts deepen democracy. We are now seeing presidents about so many things, learning so many things about law. We should commend them for their effort. But I think it is time for them to rally around so that we can address fundamental issues facing Nigerians.
Okay. All right.